women's mental load. Hey, this is Scott. Hope you've had a great week so far. I was conversing back and forth with a male influencer who seems pretty aligned to this female influencer I've been talking about, who I'm not going to mention her name, but this female influencer whose husband is a lineman. And this male influencer was very kind, very professional, very nice in our conversations back and forth. And he mentioned that I am mean or mad or whatever, and that's fine. He can think what he thinks, but I'm not mean or mad or I'm just trying to show the other side, because this female influencer, over 100 million views, has brought out this narrative of the women's mental load regarding the backpacks, the shoes, the underwear, not making the husband's lunch. There's just so much. It's so much. And nothing's ever talked about the man's mental load, where he's thinking about providing and about going to work every day and trying to stay healthy. But there are female influencers out there trying to tell women, hey, it's got to be equitable. You know, he's got to put the laundry from the dryer to the washer to the dryer, and think of these things on his own and not ask what to put in the backpack. And he's supposed to be me. He's supposed to be me. And so it's just kind of disconcerting. But going back to this male influencer, who is quite a lot like this female influencer that I'm not very fond of, he brings up this term man-child. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, I'm 64 years old, and it seems like there's a lot of new terms out there in the last 3 to 5 years. Mindfulness. Well, back in my day, we were supposed to multitask and do 3 things at one time, but now we're supposed to be more mindful. And now this term man-child. So let's just get this right up front. I'm not talking about the 30-year-old Star Trek fan who's dressed up like Mr. Spock, living in his parents' basement playing Fortnite. I'm not talking about that 30-year-old, because you remember a couple of years ago where this couple actually threw their son out of their house because he just refused. Failure to launch. There was even a movie about that, right? Failure to launch. And again, that's parents enabling their young men. You know, the mom wants Timmy to stay at home, going to do his laundry and do all this. And no woman wants Timmy if he's not going to fold his own laundry or make his own sandwich or get a job and, you know, be on drugs, sitting around the house all day. No woman wants that for a husband, right? Because women want to be provided for. And now this female influencer wants even more than her lineman husband providing. She wants him to pack the backpacks without asking, take the children to daycare, pick up the children from daycare, plan the birthday parties, get the underwear, think of the toilet paper, and all these things. And, you know, this lineman, Awaken with JP. You got to check out his video. He acts like he's the lineman husband. And there's like a narrator asking all these questions. Awaken with JP. Look at his stuff. I did a video on it yesterday. But going back to this man-child thing, hey Scott, hey what? What's a man-child? A man-child is an adult male who has not yet developed the emotional maturity or life skills expected of someone his age. This can include anything from depending on their parents for financial support to living in the childhood bedroom in their 30s. A man-child often displays childlike behavior such as avoiding responsibility and acting out when things don't go their way. Now, this male influencer I was going back and forth with yesterday said that he was a man-child. He was a man-child for many years, and now he's going to coach other men not to be a man-child. Well, my question for this male influencer is, why were you a man-child? Number one, were your parents divorced? Was your dad milquetoast and he didn't lead a good example? Number 3, was your mom bringing you a sandwich and making your bed and doing your laundry? Why were you a man-child? That's what I want to ask you. And the second question is, why in God's name did the woman marry you if she knew you were a man-child? Didn't she talk to the mother? Didn't she ask the mother questions? I'll tell you, this female influencer that I've been talking about, who I won't mention her name, she said she talked to her husband's mother. And you know what her Husband's mother said, "Don't do his laundry. Don't do his laundry." Now, the dirty little secret is this female influencer, who I won't mention by name, her parents were, wait for it, divorced. So she probably saw her mother having to do the mental load, and she's got a lot of resentment, bitterness, and anger toward men because her dad ran out or whatever happened to her dad. So she's projecting that on her current husband. What I'm trying to say is this man-child thing. I'll tell you who I blame. I blame the parents of the man-child who is not pushing the boy out the door to get him ready to launch. Now, I know of a couple who said when their kid turned 18, all right, go out there and conquer it. I don't know how much training or education or whatever they gave this young man to be able to launch, but I can tell you with my son, I helped him, I gave him guidance, I gave him direction. I told him to read Think and Grow Rich. I told him to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Told him to listen to Gary Vaynerchuk. And I think that helped him be extremely successful. Same with my daughter, extremely successful. Not only in their personal lives, but in the people they chose to marry and the way they're parenting. Extremely successful. But I understand in 2025, a lot of young girls do not have their biological dads in the home. A lot of young men don't have their biological dads in the home. I understand there's a lot of single moms. I actually work in a building where there's a school. And last year they had these early release days. And I would tell my best friend, how do single mothers do it early release day? You know, like once a month. And, you know, these single moms and single dads have got to tell their employers, hey, Bill, I got a early release day or teacher planning day. And so what do the kids do at home then, right? See, back in my day, the aunts, the cousins, the relatives lived in the cul-de-sac. So all the women, and yes, I say women, were home knitting or putting their feet in the baby pool or, you know, they weren't watching Maury back then, probably watching Days of Our Life back then or General Hospital. They were home and they were waiting for their kids to get off the school bus. But now because of all these single moms, they have to work, or because people say we want more, we want to go on vacations and stuff, we need to have two incomes, 2 cars, we got to pay taxes, want to go on vacations. Now we have both parents working, and then it makes it really tough. But talking about the man's mental load, I really don't want to dismiss this because most guys are going to work every day, bringing home the paycheck. They're not gambling. They're not out sleeping around. They're not chasing skirts. They're not going to, here in Jacksonville, we have this thing called Best Bet, you know, Best Bet, where you can go over there and bet. The parking lot's full all the time. But I really need to say about the man's mental load, it is real, just as real as the woman's mental load is. And I will agree with this female online creator. Yes, the women take the majority of the mental load. The online school forms, the shoes, the backpack, planning the birthday parties, buying the gifts, thinking about Christmas. You know, I totally get it, and I respect that. And I'll tell you, I failed. You know, I've been married 41 years. I failed in my first few years of being married. But see, I believed in roles. I lived with my biological mom and biological dad, and dad went to work and mom stayed home. And this is in the 60s and 70s. That's the way it was then. And my mom didn't nag, complain, or fault find. My mom did not hand my dad a to-do list on Friday and say, okay, this weekend you're doing X, Y, and Z, and you're going to be under my watchful gaze while you do it. And no. But I mean, this female online creator that I won't mention her name, she talks about in her videos how, I don't know if it's once a week or once a month, but her and her girlfriends go out. They go out. Great, go out. But then she complains that when the husband is watching the kids, the house isn't clean, the laundry's not done, and the guy's kind of checking out. This female online creator needs to read the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus or something, because we think differently. And if she wants to, it's kind of like with guys, right? Guys say we want peace in our home. Well, what does that mean? It means not being married. Because if you want peace in your home, you're not going to have a wife and you're not going to have kids. You're going to walk home from work, kick your shoes off. You're going to be like well, you're not going to be like Al Bundy because Al Bundy had a wife and kids. But you're going to come home to an empty home with no dog or cat. Turn on sports, ESPN, turn on Fox News, play Fortnite, Minecraft, whatever, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which is my favorite, which I haven't played in years. That's how you're going to have peace. Now, with this online female creator, who I won't mention, who's got over 100 million views, if she wants, and she even said a couple of years ago, I was thinking of divorce because I'm doing it all. Well, how can you say you're doing it all when your husband's working this lineman job? He takes the kids to and from daycare. He's making dinner at night. How can you say you're doing it all? That's where, when this male online creator was kind of going checkmate on me, saying, you know what I'm upset about, she's hypocritical. She's saying, and then she's got this checklist of what she does and what he does. Just like counting score and all that kind of stuff. And I really, unless this guy is just cashing checks with her and laughing all the way to the bank, and this is clickbait, if this is really what she thinks and really what she's saying, I feel sorry for the husband. I wish Good Morning America or Fox News or the Whatever podcast or Better Bachelor or Myron Gaines, I wish, Fresh and Fit, I wish they'd interview the husband and ask him what he thinks and show some clips of the wife saying all these horrible things about him. She's standing over the kitchen table or whatever and just throwing him and men under the bus. And to wrap it up, what I want to say is I'm really saddened. I really am. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. There's a lot of men that deal with PTSD. They deal with stress. They deal with all these things. They deal with a nagging, complaining, fault-finding, Monday morning quarterbacking wife, and they don't have peace. But what I will advise young men to do, and fathers of young men, talk to the young men and say, hey, listen, you need to understand these things. Because I'll tell you what, the mothers are talking to the daughters. Make sure he's got an 800 credit score. Make sure six-pack. Make sure he's a hard worker. Make sure of all these things. And it's kind of interesting. This online female creator, who I won't mention her name, where was her mother when she saw this guy she's been married to, this lineman guy? Where was that mother? Because this online creator did not choose well. Now, she said he was perfect, known each other since freshman year. But then when they had kids, everything changed. Everything changed when they had kids. And yes, things do change when you have kids. The woman is going to pay attention to the children, and the guy's going to kind of feel left out. But then when the guy goes hunting, fishing, motorbiking, parasailing, doing all these things, then she gets mad that he's checking out and she's stuck around the home. And I have a lot of support and a lot of respect for my daughter, who's a mom of two young boys. I have a lot of respect for my daughter-in-law, little 2-year-old baby Scotty. I have a lot of respect for women who work so hard, but I also have a lot of respect for men who go to work every day, bring home the bacon, and are faithful to their wives and doing what they can to provide for their family and keep them safe. This is Scott with the Male's Mental Load. Have a great week, and shoot me a message, if you want to, mansmentalload@gmail.com. And I'm going to be like this other male coach. I'll coach you. $250 an hour, like that female creator is doing. I'll coach you how to be a better man. This is Scott with the Man's Mental Load. Have a great weekend.